Welcome to The Pass again on Wednesday. I'm Obi-Ron, here in the studio alone still. No Constant. But Turtle, with me in Denver, Colorado. Turtle, what's up, bud?
Absolutely. I wouldn't, abandon you. I think today, we've been jabbing at Constant, but I think I have concern for him, man. I think he's somewhere in a corner crying after that Sons of Anarchy finale. Oh my God.
I haven't seen it. Don't ruin it for me.
No, this is spoiler-free zone, man. It's just the only thing I'll say is it ends. The
Wow,
fucking
really?
show is over.
Wow.
So it's done.
There is no movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Let's today, apparently, according to Magic Johnson, it's okay to suck on purpose. The Lakers have had all kinds of problems. They managed to pull out a win last night. But Magic Johnson's response to that was, if you're going to lose, then lose. And all of this in reference to the strategy. I'll call it that because what else are you going to call it? The strategy of saying, we don't have a team that's going to go in the playoffs. We don't have a championship team. So let's suck on purpose for a better position in the draft picks. Turtle, where do you stand? Let's start here. Where do you stand on sucking on purpose?
I mean, there's only one kind of sucking that I like, but we won't get into that.
I knew you were going to go there.
I think for the longest time, some teams have done this, but it's gone unsaid and unnoticed because the invention of social media and, shoving a camera in someone's face and a microphone in someone's mouth really didn't exist. Now, somebody sneezes the wrong way, TMZ's on there talking about there's a new Ebola virus and, how's it connected to Kim Kardashian's ass and blah, blah, blah. It gets so ridiculous and retarded that I think you have to come out, and I think you said it right, that you have to call it something like a strategy. I think teams have done this for a while. My personal opinion on it, I think it's stupid because I don't want to be associated with a team that is like, we throwing in the towel. I want you to fight. I want you to say at the end of the season, even though you didn't make it, you gave it your all. But, I'm not a Lakers fan. I honestly don't give a shit. And I'm laughing a lot because how the mighty have fallen. I know I have a lot of friends who are Lakers fans, like, oh, fuck it, all those championships. Like, dude, what about now? What are you doing now? Nothing.
I agree. I have a real problem with throwing games. I'll just leave it out, put it out there like that. I have a real problem with throwing games, throwing a season with the strategic objective being to get better draft picks. I think that leagues have set themselves up, and it's not on purpose. I get the idea of setting up a draft pick lottery to make it more likely that the teams that need help are going to get help. But I feel like what we've run into now is a situation where a mid-level team, a team that should be able to win enough games to be competitive night to night, but not enough teams to make it into, certainly not go deep in the playoffs, will throw a few games. They'll pull back to try and get into that bottom tier. And again, it depends on the league as far as how far down that ranking you need to end up to get a better draft lottery percentage, opportunity, chance to get that number one or one of those top 5 picks. So I understand why leagues set it up this way, but now that teams are exploiting that, I think you run into a lot of problems, Turtle. One of which you touched on, the impact on the fan base, the impact on the people who are buying tickets on a regular basis, especially season tickets, to have to go and watch a team lose all the time. That has a real psychological and eventually financial impact. And the notion that somewhere there are executives who are weighing the cost of lost revenue to upset fans today versus the potential additional revenue to be had in the future if we can get those first picks. That doesn't sit well with me.
You know, because both you and I know how Los Angeles works, especially Los Angeles sports, the sad reality is you have a team who, you know, let's face it, maybe throwing games, maybe intentionally losing to get this better draft positioning. But because it's Los Angeles and it's sexy to go to Staples and it's sexy to go see Jack Nicholson at the Lakers game, the ticket prices are going to stay the same, which are ridiculous.
So if it's really happening, if Magic Johnson is tipping us out to something that people have laughingly suggested happens, if this is really happening, it's terrible for sports. And I think fans need to stand up and find a way to voice their displeasure at this.
One thing that I think every sports fan needs to know, if they don't already, is the best way to inflict a major amount of change on a team is stop going to the games and stop buying their shit.
Yeah.
Stop giving them money because, hey, there's teams that, yeah, we're terrible right now, but we're still making money, so...
I'm 100% with you, but I think you need to do it in a organized way. I just had a great idea. Light bulbs just went off. Boop. I think if you think whatever sport you're into there, sports fan, and whoever your team is, if you think your team is losing on purpose, if they are sucking to get a draft pick in some way, you need to do two key things. Number one, you need to go to the games. You need to voice your displeasure with this. You need to boo your team. You need to bring a sign and tell them to stop losing on purpose. And if your team, you believe, is actually losing on purpose, or if you have any kind of a whiff, Lakers perhaps, that something like that might be happening, you need to organize a boycott of your team. You need to pick a game. Pick one game. I don't know. A nice high-profile one would probably be really good. And you need to go out there and you don't buy tickets and you try and convince everybody else not to buy tickets and you boycott a game. That would have impact because media is going to wash around that. You're going to get some pickup and some coverage. People are going to talk about it. Empty seats, that's always going to bring a lot of coverage. That's a way that you can send a message to not the players, because the players want to win. That's why they're fighting about losing, and that's why they're not happy about this whole situation. To the front office to make sure, and to the coaching staff to make sure they know it's not a viable strategy. And if this really gets out of hand, Turtle, then I think leagues need to step up and change the drafting strategy. If the leagues want to go and prevent something like this from happening, don't make it a rated scale where the bottom guy has a significantly better pick than the guy who just missed the playoffs. Make it even across the board. If you miss the playoffs, you have an even chance of getting the first draft pick. Now you're going to fight for it. You might as well.
Maybe.
Doesn't matter. If you just miss the playoffs, it's no worse than if you're the worst team in the league. So you might as well try to get in the playoffs. Just a thought. We've given enough time to the losers. Let's talk about some winners.
I know. I feel so dirty talking about the Lakers for that long. Ugh.
Oh, come on. I don't want to bash the Lakers, though they are.